Hello, and welcome again to the Coach's Corner with Coach Scott Hamilton and Jason Shaw and one of our players, Blake Chapin. Coach, last week we talked about New Manchester, the disappointment, trying to turn the spirit of the team around. The kids we felt like could win, they just didn't know they could win, was kind of the perception I had. And you had a big challenge coming up with Hiram. Hiram was like a 28-point favorite. And you just can't overcome a 28-point favorite, you know, Blake, even at home field advantage. Y'all did play it at Paulding.com last night. Tell us about the game.
We won 23-6. First time we've beaten Hiram in 6 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was a huge win for us. You know, ironically, this week I got an email from Rick Potts, used to be the minister at First Baptist Dallas, talked about how much a lot of times in life that you struggle along, you work at it, you work at something, and then you quit right before you get your benefit. And not knowing that you were there. You know, the last door you had to open. I felt like that's last night was sort of that for us. You know, we worked, we were disappointed, we've been disappointed. But last night we finally broke down the door a little bit and got our reward, which was a win.
Now, last week we talked about problems with mental mistakes. Let's talk about those today, about what happened last night in the game. How about penalties? How were you on penalties?
Had about 4 penalties for about 50 yards, but compared to Hiram had about, I'm just guessing because I didn't look at their total yet, but it was 8 penalties for about 120. So, you know, we won that battle. We won the kicking game battle for mistakes. You know, we had one bad punt, but they had a bad punt. They misjudged the kickoff, and we downed a punt inside the 10, which was big.
So they made some mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
and you capitalized on them. Is that
Yes,
what
sir.
I'm hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me about the total offense and break down the running game and the passing game for us a little bit.
We had about 227, and they had about
145.
145. So, and we took away our bad punt, which took away 20 yards. I would say we have about 100 more yards of offense than they did.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes. We threw the ball. You know, we don't throw the ball much. You know, we're 4-7, but we threw it and it sort of took away what, you know, some things they were trying to do to us early. We got them out of their game plan a little bit. And credit their offense, you know, we also drew them offside several times in the game. They were timing our snap count in the second half. We sort of took that away from them. And, you know, it helped us out tremendously, I believe.
Yeah. Now tell me about the spirit of the team, the players, and the attitude, and so forth. I'm sensing that you've been working at this program a long time, and this is a turning point for the program. Is this perhaps true?
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. You know, from day one, I've talked about the kids. You know, we want to build a program, not a team. You know, don't be the one-hit wonder. Let's win a few games and go on. You know, we played kids. You know, we've tried to build depth over the last few years. Last night we played about 30 kids. I think Hiram probably played about 17. And you know, it helps you. You know, in a big gang fight, 30 is always going to beat 17. And sometimes that's what football sort of is. You know,
Yeah.
You know, really more of a street fight than it is a game at times.
I got you. Coach Jason, the offense did real well. Talk about Thomas Sia, and the passing game was, I think you were 4 for 7.
4 for 7 for 47 yards.
But I think it's really important about how you use the passing game and what you accomplish with those 4. The guys that are used to watching college ball, that sounds like, well, they didn't even have a passing game, but I think it made a big difference. Talk about that and talk about Thomas.
The Hiram defense was predicated on stopping Thomas. They had bunched up in the middle and had decided that they were going to try and take him away from us. And Coach Hamilton's very good at making calls to where he utilizes the passing game to put them back on their heels again and make them respect what we're going to do so that we can free up our running backs to do what they do best. And Thomas runs downhill best. He physically wore them down by halftime. They had had enough of tackling number 26.
Well, that's pretty awesome right there. Now, how many carries did he have and how many yards?
21 carries for 97 yards, I think.
And how many touchdowns?
2.
All right. Now, he has to have a good line to help him, or he can't do it all on his own, can he?
Cannot do it all on his own.
Well, have you got any good linemen?
We got a few. We got one we brought today.
All right. Talk to us about Blake. And Blake, you talk to us a little bit about the game when the coach gets through, okay?
Coach Hamilton has made it a point to build what we like to call program kids. Kids that come into the program, they're going to stay for 4 years. Some may start at a younger age, some may not. Blake has worked hard in the weight room, on and off the field. He works hard in the classroom to do the things that he needs to do, and he's a leader on the offensive line and on the team. He's done a great job. he's a kid you can count on when the game's on the line.
He state placer last year at the state weightlifting competition. What'd you play? Sixth.
Wow.
Heavyweight, super heavy.
That's pretty good. Blake, tell us about the game. How did it make you feel?
It felt really good to finally beat somebody in the county and get to walk around with our stuff on and be proud to wear it.
There you go. All right, tell me about the game itself as far as any particular plays. And well, what position you play first?
Left guard.
All right, and tell me about any particular plays you had or things that made you feel good or whatever.
We were having some problems with the first play we had where I needed to pull, and a man was shooting through and getting in my way, but we finally got that straightened out, and we finally hit the play right, and I think Thomas or somebody busted a 19-yard run right off of it.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel good, so.
Yeah, and it's just great to execute the play, and it comes out on the field like it does on paper, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't always happen that way, does it?
No, sir.
All right. Coach, tell us about what Hiram failed to do or whatever. I don't want to be real negative, but
Well, no, in high school football, it's one of the things I like about it. It's always what you do. It's what you want to accentuate. Whereas, like the program and stuff, there's a lot of negativity goes on. Well, this team do that. Yeah, Hiram's real good about stunting. I mean, that's what they do. Our offense is a little bit different than where everybody else runs. So we have to sort of, and it's new for me. I've always been a wing T guy before, but doing what we're doing now, we try to get a feel for what they're going to do, or how they're trying to stop us. And that's one thing credit to Blake and the guys is we had to change a few things up front to stop the them blitzing and B gap and stuff, and made a few blocking assignment changes that went along. Coach Tucker has done a real good job. I've always been an offensive line coach. This year I've let the offensive line go to somebody else, which is a big trust factor for me. But he did a real good job getting those guys adjusted and getting going, and it was a big plus. As the game went on, we adjusted to what they were doing and got to our offensive rhythm.
okay. All right. We're going to take a 15-second commercial timeout.
Well, just watch some highlights.
Okay.
I mean, y'all had a great game. Let's see a little bit
all right,
of it.
all right, all right. Okay. We're back going, Pat.
You've been going.
Okay. Coach, there's some highlights of the game that we're going to watch, and I want you and Blake and Coach Jason to comment on these particular plays. And real quickly, you got down 4th and goal on the 2-yard line, and you lined up in a field goal. Why didn't you fake it and run a touchdown?
Really, because every coach on the sideline was yelling at me not to fake it. I had a guy who compared me to in college, I'd be Les Miles, because that book they said you got to read to know what's going on and talk about that book, do it by the book. But I've been looking for that book, but I haven't found it. So
And he's looking.
I've looked for it, but it's not out there. I really wanted to fake it. They talked me out of it. And our defense and Coach Black and his staff have done a great job, and we're playing good defense right now. So we're trying to play to them a little bit. So punting and getting the points on the board and stuff was big, And it was a big morale boost for them. They also had a penalty. They'd roughed the center, which I don't know if in high school now you can't touch a center on a kick, unless he gets in a defensive position. Well, they roughed our center, so we got to attack those yards on at the beginning of the half. So we kicked off 15 yards further, which is a big plus.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask Blake one more question before we go to the highlights. You got a coach here that's a little bit of a maverick or a gunslinger, gambler, I guess you'd say. Is that a fair statement, Blake?
Yes, sir.
How does that make you feel? Don't you get nervous about what's going to happen, or do you like it?
No, sir, I like it.
Okay.
I like going for it all and going for the win.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the highlights. Let's see if we got some highlights coming up, and you guys talk about them.
This is our open kickoff. We noticed we thought they hash kick, but we thought we'd get right there hash, and it worked out just like we thought. Early on, you'll see some of these clips here that coach put together. You see them really walking our big backers up, and it gave us a few problems stunting. So we made some adjustments for our splits and things. And we do some different things. We call it smart splits. We'll get real wide and real tight depending on what their alignment is. So it took us a minute to get that in. So you see those guys coming through. That's one of the counter plays Blake talked about. Mark Toussaint had a real good run right there. We were controlling those blitzes. The game went on was better for us. Of course, here's a large part of what we do. We're just going to give it to Thomas, and he runs downhill at 230 pounds. He's hard to tackle. Of course, Blake and the guys are we average about 250 across the front. So that's we're built to run downhill. So that's one of the things we want to insinuate. Here's our defense here. Brandon Ballard had a great game from nose guard number 99. Caleb Sellers, 2 leading tacklers. Our secondary did a real good job to come up punishing the runners after they caught the ball. I think their longest run from scrimmage is about 19 yards. Special teams, we wanted to pressure the kicker here. We don't have a punt return team, we have a punt block team. So that's what we want to do. A lot of time on punt block, it's not just the punt blocks, it's bad kicks, them, bad snaps, and them not covering the punt.
Okay.
So all that adds together. You gotta total that up. Here we are. I think we got this one. I think this is this is one of our veers here. Got made adjustment blocking up, Thomas. We should have cut inside right there though, but it's we're down on 2. Next play, everybody understands, probably knows what's going to happen next. We're going to try to get an unbalanced line of scrimmage and give the ball to to Thomas, the tailback. Worked out.
That was an amazing play. They're keying on him. He walked in untouched.
Yeah. Here I running. There's Nick Miller running from free safety, jumping on the power right there. But Ballard once again made another play in the backfield. I think their center probably have nightmares about him. They do a good job. And you watch this, always there's always 4 right there. Well, there's a bunch of red shirts at the end of play. It's just that one guy making a tackle running the football. There's one that fumbles. They turned it over. Meaningful stats in football. Winning the turnover battle is huge. Holding the opponent to less than 16 points is huge. There's again Ballard with another tackle with a sack. Brandon had a really, really big game. That's sort of Thomas's counterpart. They're built sort of similar. They wrestle together, heavyweight, 220. They're together. Montavious Meekins Sr. making a great play. Corn throwing the ball down there. This is right before the half. This is time to go. This is the point of the game. I wanted to fake it, but Zach Kudwal's done a really good job improving. He went to kicking camps this summer. He's a real consistent kicker now. It's not an adventure. Years past, it was an adventure when we kicked extra points.
Okay.
This year we sort of solidified that. It was big. This is a great hustle by Robbie Ragsdale, sophomore, playing special teams. Kicked by Peoples down inside the 10. And we've gotten better at this. You see Naylor trying to field that thing too. He was trying to see where it went, trying to pin it up. We had a couple guys down. That's a good hustle by them. We're demoralizing, the whole defense, and all of a sudden now you're starting inside your 5. I'm starting here's a sophomore runner here, Blake Chapin, blocking, sophomore running back, Richard Branch. The future looks good too. Here we are, just giving the ball to Thomas here, just letting him run. The big thing is that just wears on the defense. It's just they get tired of tackling that guy. But it allows us to do this next. We'll do this, fake the veer, and Corn can chase Thomas and get a good push by the opposite line there, Blake and the guys there, down to 15. And it's the game went on. They got tired. That's what we talked about. What we want to do as a program is make people tired, and we did that. There's another Malik getting the ball outside. We're trying to spread the ball around a little bit. We'd like to keep Thomas at around 20 carries. Last week, 27 was more than what we want. This is what I'm talking about. We do what we call crazy motion, where we start the motion and nothing goes on. There's no play called. Crazy R, crazy L, and it worked out for us. Let's block that front. Once again, though, this is the idea. We're going to give the ball to him down inside. We're going to get 20. There's no secret. Make you tackle. Here it is again. And he's running forward. It's more of an old school type football approach, but it suits our personality right now. We mishandled this one, so we're going to work on that a little bit. Got to get the fire call going a little bit earlier. Corn forgot to call it. So this is Thomas running the ditch. We try to give him the ball some different ways, and this is his perimeter running. He's a little bit better on the outside than people think he is. Great cut, good blocking on the edge. Our wide receivers did a great job blocking. They know they don't get a lot of opportunities. They do a really good job. Right here, number 82, Tony Gold, number 4, Montavious Meekins, the senior, does a great job on the perimeter getting him in on the goal line. That's his first varsity touchdown right there.
All right.
So that was a big deal. As his mom, parents, all excited about that from Lake Rush.
We ended up 23-6 is the final score, and a huge upset since y'all are a 28-point underdog. So that's kind of make you feel really good.
It does.
Blake, how do you feel about that again? I know I've asked you, but you got to feel
great.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk about 3 more things. Blake, you've taken time to come and be with us today. You're a senior, and tell me about your plans. There's more to you than a football player, and I think the coach has that attitude toward everybody. Tell me about what's going to happen with you when you finish high school.
Well, nobody in my family's ever went to a 4-year college and went through, and I want to be the first one in my family to go through a 4-year college.
Man, you got some fans right now supporting you. Everybody loves to see a kid with ambition and a good goal and all. That's great. Where do you think you might go?
I'd like to stay close to home, so I'm really looking at Berry College in Rome.
Okay, and they have a football program now, don't they?
Just so they're putting in their first year this
Okay.
year.
Well, there's a chance that I might see you in a different colored jersey
Yes,
down
sir.
there. Okay, all right. Tell me about Levi Bishop, Coach.
Well, we have a program in our school with our team called the Player of the Day, and we dress out one of the special needs students. You know, Levi has sort of, I don't know if he's adopted us or we've adopted him, but he's with us quite a bit.
All right.
You know, he's out there. He's a great kid. We get him in a jersey. I think he gave me bruised my ribs yesterday. He's trying to hit me, playing around with me. But you know, it's really good for how those kids around. Cause, you know, they would love to play football. You know, kids like Levi, and it's really good for our kids to be around. You know, realize those kids are humans too, and you know they have feelings and things. So it's good exposure for Levi and our kids. And you know, we like football is an avenue to a lot of things. You know, it's helped everything from race relations to socioeconomic. It does a lot of things. It's more than just a game, as far as I'm concerned. It's a way for us to get our kids exposed to kids like Levi. You know, and we host these Special Olympics at our school, and our kids are comfortable, and it really goes good for our school and our kids.
That's great. Blake, how do you feel about the program where we got kids like Levi that are connected, involved?
It feels good to get them tied in there too, because they deserve that too. They deserve to be part of the program just as much as we do.
Wow, that's a good attitude. I really respect you. Coach Jason, next week, who we got?
Altoona, at Altoona.
And tell me about Altoona and what your expectations are, and we're going to let Coach Scott wrap it up after you talk about this, okay?
They run what they run. They're going to run at you. They're going to do the things that they do, and they do it very well. And it's going to be a dogfight. I think we'll be ready for the game.
All right. Coach, tell us about it.
I think it's going to be old-fashioned football. They don't throw the ball a whole lot. We're not going to throw a whole lot. They're going to give it to their tailback. We're going to give it to our tailback. If you like to watch an old-time fashion, physical-looking football, it's the game to come watch. It's like if you like watching Alabama, LSU pound at each other, in submission. I think it's a little bit very similar to that.
Okay. And the kids are up for the game? They ready?
Yes, we talked about that. We ate pancakes for the first time since about 2004 for pregame. Last time Paulding County ate pancakes, we went on a 7-game winning streak. So we're hoping to replicate, that season.
So this coming Friday, we're going to have pancakes again?
Not to tell sure, we eat a lot of local churches a lot of time pregame, so I'm sure the kids will be asking for pancakes if they're superstitious.
Okay, all right. Anything else from anybody before we close out? Blake, you got any final comments?
No, so just come to the game.
All right.
I do have one. One of the Hiram kids was pretty severely injured last night in the game,
Yes.
and if you're the type of person who prays, like if you ever prays for Andre Young, hoping that he gets a speedy recovery from that. He got transported to Kennestone. I'm assuming it's a pretty severe leg injury. So, but our prayers go out to Andre Young.
You'd mentioned earlier that you wanted to lift him up, and that you think it's a broken femur.
Yeah, I'm not sure from on the sideline looking at it, that's what it looked like. But and as a coach, I remember Aaron Hagan, Joseph Beard, you remember those as a coach, and I feel for Chris Brown and his staff that to watch one of their kids go through that, because you never want to see that for anybody, because Blake, those kids are like my kids too, and to see that happen to your own kid, it is very traumatic. And we hope that him and his family are doing okay today.
And this is not one of your kids, but one of the Hiram kids.
Yes, sir.
You're asking folks to lift him up in prayer for healing.
Yes, sir.
Physically. Okay. All right. Anything else, guys? Jason?
Just come see the game.
All right. Great. Thank you, guys. More next week.